Who would have believed? Just armed with a satchel of hope, but backed by the love and caring that so many of you presented to us with your calls, your cards, your box full of touches of kindness. We found a new home with no ice, no snow, no rain, no cold, and a place where not having a driver's license doesn't make a whole lot of difference. So you're not waiting around until calling someone to come and get you. You're fully engaged in the life as it is before. And oh my. There she goes. Here for one place and gone somewhere else. Now our biggest complaint is we're too busy. What a joy to share that problem. When your office day starts with an O dark 4 or no dark 500 in it, this is how we start our day. And then I take that long, rough commute all the way around the kitchen island onto my office. No need to watch or worry about wild and crazy drivers on my route.
See you later.
But it's always a good idea to be vigilant on the way to work. My gosh, that commute was tough. It took me all of 25 seconds and only had to dodge one wheelchair. But past all the jokes, this is where I sit, day in and day out, as I serve you. The Merrill phone, the Merrill screens, the things that give me the tools to take care of you. But from there on, the logistics of what a traditional business office of chrome and glass disappears, and the life that I live to serve you begins. I've decided to place in front of me not the boring corporate art, but a collage of my own family to remind me every day of why I work to serve those I love. So that as I serve you, I serve them. It also reminds me that each and every one of you have children's parents, families, belief, institutions that you want to support. And what I do each day, I do to support you so that your dreams can come true, just as you have assisted in my greatest dream for my family of this decade. And as I work, I not only have my own family, but I've chosen to surround myself with the intellect and principles that I would like to live up to in the trust that you have granted me and that I wish to live up to for you. So I put right above my wall John Locke, Madison, Jefferson, Winston Churchill, many of the fine figures of our time who set the standards that we try to live by every day, to remind myself of them, that is who I need to be for each of you, just as I am as a husband to Peg, a father to Courtney and Libby, and until very recently, a dutiful son to an aging mother. Those same principles that drive you, I try to live up to every single day. Each morning in those dark and early hours when I come in, I may sit down in my office before that computer and see the family that I love, representing the families that you love. But I also, behind me, have things that are symbolic of the great thanks I have for how I can serve all of you. And that is the nation we're in, the greatest nation on earth, the most generous nation on earth. I start with a portrait in the middle of Washington crossing the Delaware, where a bunch of average citizens stepped up and put themselves forward for all of us to create the foundation of our nation, the quintessential event of the 18th century. And as we grew and had our growing pains, we were challenged. And again in the 19th century, we became divided. But Abraham Lincoln came forward and led our nation and preserved our union, again by those who stepped up to preserve the liberty, preserve the freedom, and preserve the principles we live by. And sure enough, my father's generation, 70 years ago, was challenged by the worst of tyrants. And again, the simple men and women from city and farm afar stepped up and gave of themselves. And I have the Missouri here, a model coming shortly with an actual piece of the deck that the surrender was signed on, representing the end of that terrible conflict. But the signing of that surrender began an era to which close to 6 billion people live in some form of prosperity or freedom, thanks to simple Americans that stepped up and made a difference. What I know so many of you have done in your lives to step up and make a difference, to volunteer, to serve, to give your lives in the service of others. And why I respect so much those who have received the Medal of Honor. It's not just their valor, but they're not like Winston Churchill or FDR at a team of people writing speeches. They're the folks next door who stepped up and represent the finest of valor, courage, sacrifice, citizenship, love of country, the things that have allowed us to live in the most prosperous, safe, generous, giving place on earth. There is no better place in the world to serve our families than here. And I'm thankful every day that I get to serve you right here. We need to wrap up our little tour of the life I've been able to give to my darling wife and what I've been able to do for those I love. Thanks for the trust that you have given me. And there's no better and more fitting way to wrap up than to draw a toast to those who have come before and to those of you in this room for the wonderful character that you have and all the lessons that we have learned. So we're going to open this bottle, not just any bottle, but one that was given to me by a wonderfully dear man, Bob Breitenbach, at the 25th anniversary, to celebrate our time together that we were going to drink. And well, Bob passed away last year, so he won't be with us tonight. But he gave me this bottle of wine, representing our 25 years together. And we were to drink this together to share our love of family and the success we had. Well, even if he isn't sitting at one of these tables, we're going to open this bottle and we're going to take a moment to toast the wonderful character, dedication, generosity, and love of family from all those who've come before us and those that are all seated in this room. Because I'll tell you, there's a lot of character in this room, and we're going to toast it.